and welcome to Wine, Dine, Unwind. We are in the basement cellar office today, unwinding and trying to figure out taxes, as those are due. But more importantly, I want to say, if there's any way we can start increasing the numbers to 400 people on our Facebook site, we are going to drink some wine together, free of charge. That's right. Let's get those numbers up and we'll have some wine together and enjoy, catch up, one-on-one. But definitely want to talk about Anne Muller-Rocky and her winery, Dunham Estate. Dunham Estate Winery is in the north coast of California, specifically in the south of Sonoma. Sonoma and Napa are side by side, and they're in the south. But Anne's going to talk about her high-end Pinot Noir. Very delicate, thin-skinned grape that takes quite a while to mature and grow. There's a lot of love put into Pinot Noir. It's very much grown by, you know, the farmers, the region, the soil, the wind, the fog. These are all contributing factors. So, anyways, let me know what you think. Think about it. Let's try and get 400 people on the Facebook site. We can do it. It's not hard. And I promise you, we will drink some wine. We'll drink some wine in Fredericton. We may even try and do it in Moncton. And if we get enough St. John response, we'll do one there too. So we'll go from there. Thanks for following along, and we will see you hopefully at a tasting. Cheers.
So hands off in terms of all winemaking. My name is Anne Muller-Rocky. I'm the Sedonham Estate and wine grower and president of Sedonham Estate. Sedonham Estate is a small project in California. Our vineyards are located in the Canaris region and in the Russian River. I've been growing grapes since the early 80s. I came from Germany to California and to Sonoma in 81 and had the great pleasure of working with these vineyards for almost over 30 years. We barely could give Pinot Noir away. We always had Pinot Noir in our vineyards, and actually one of the ones that we are tasting later today, which is our Thomas in our Ferguson block, was planted in '74. That fruit I sold for $500 a ton for sparkling wine, because that was really the main use for Pinot Noir, because Pinot Noir fell out of favor because the plantings in the 70s were often not done in the appropriate areas, and Pinot Noir is not very forgiving. Yeah. So Pinot Noir wanted to be in the right climate, and that's really what happened in with the planting in the 70s. California was able to sort out what are the right regions for the right varieties. And so in the mid-80s, we created the different AVAs, and Canaris being one of the first ones, you know, and then the Russian River, and we are getting really to know where are the right growing areas. And Canaris being to 85% planted to Chardonnay and Pinot Noir is certainly a Burgundian area. Russian River very similar, within the northern Napa or other parts of Sonoma, you grow beautiful Cabernet or Zinfandel in the Dry Creek area. So we had to figure that out, and it took a little bit of time. California has a good climate, great soil, so a lot of varieties grew everywhere. But then we saw there were really different qualities. Having been on the vineyard side, I was also part of that evolution. In the late 80s, we had another phylloxera issue that really changed a lot, which actually had a silver lining. A lot of the vineyards had to be replanted. Now that we had figured out where to grow what variety well, we now were able to bring in new plant material and really focus or put that, that's right. So a lot of the vineyards failed because California and mainly the North Coast was planted to two rootstocks, AXR and St. George. St. George being the one that is resistant and tolerant to phylloxera, and AXR that was the one that failed. And so a lot of the vineyards got replanted, Napa first, Sonoma a little later. Sonoma is a larger county, and so Sonoma had areas that vineyards weren't as connected as in Napa, so that's why the spread in Napa was faster than in Sonoma, and so the replanting was faster in Napa. And then they focused mainly on Cabernet as their replants, and a lot of the Pinot vineyards disappeared, except in the southern part of Napa Valley, which is actually the Canaris region. You know, so the beauty of, or the interesting part of Canaris is that it stretches to both Appalachia, Napa and Sonoma. It's the south tip of both, very close to San Pablo Bay, which influences our climate in terms of being cooler and having the, the influence of the bay and actually of the ocean. So where Russian River gets also the influence from the ocean, but I think they get actually more of this high-laying fog. So their temperatures are cooled by the fog, where the Canaries region gets perhaps a little bit more wind. And so I think in that has something to do then with the ripening of the fruit, where I think the tannin ripening in the Russian River areas is perhaps a little softer, where in Canaries is a little edgier. We have two vintages of our Canaries Pinot Noir, our Canaries Dawn and Pinot Noir. So this is our 06, and 06 has been, actually I was just talking to some people and we showed it yesterday at dinner, and then it was really perceived very well. 06 has become quite an elegant and a wine that is almost straddling the old world, new world a little bit. It is not so pronounced new world when we think of new world being a little bit more, having a little bit more oomph, a little bit more intensity and fruit forward, and the old world being more on the earthy and elegant side. And this Pinot kind of has a little bit of both. 06 was actually it was a challenging vintage because it was quite a wet vintage. And that always, you have to struggle then with your canopy. We had actually very good flowering. Yields were fairly high in 06, so you had to do a lot of sorting and a lot of work within the vineyard to kind of bring it together to what we kind of want. So that's how I see my job of taking, it's like when your kids go astray and you herd them back, and bring them all together. So that's how I see myself. 07 had actually tiny berries. When you have small berries, you get more juice to skin ratio, which means in the skins are the phenols and the color and so on, so the extraction was more. And so when you look at the two, you kind of see actually a difference in color. Whereas the 07 is darker and has almost a little bit more into the blue tones, where the 06 is a little bit more, not orange, it would be the wrong, but more garnet color. And in the nose, the 07, which is also a year younger, is more useful, it's more powerful, and really represents that vintage quite well. It took a while for it to come around because it was very tight last year even. So our wines are serious Pinots. They are made to last, and so you don't want them that they, I always say I like my Pinots when they shed a little bit of that baby fat and they become really wines, Often we drink wines too young. And being a German, I love pork, right? So there's all kinds of interesting dishes with pork, but the beauty of Pinot is that it really goes so widely, from duck to veal to pork to also tuna or some of the more steaky kind of fishes, and certainly risotto and pasta dishes, which I think are quite beautiful. And it's a great wine to pair with food, I think. So,
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.